Good afternoon, everyone. This is Renee Tompkins with another social media masterclass, this time for February, or the end of February, actually. Tomorrow's March. So on today's agenda, we're going to focus on tips for getting you found online. This is big stuff, so you want to take some notes or get your smartphone out and take a lot of pictures. And then marketing your brand, as well as the #1 way to grow your business on Instagram. And it's not what you might think it is. Also, we're going to focus some time on Instagram highlights, as well as being more than a resource. We'll get into this. Also, we're going to talk about key steps when posting on Instagram, as well as some success rituals, kudos, mindsets for success, and recommended reading. So a full agenda for today's class. All right. As always, the expectations for today's masterclass are that you maintain a growth mindset, be open to making results-based changes that will grow your business, take notes and interact by asking questions and sharing, as well as challenging yourself to develop your own social media success strategy. I found this quote, and it's 100% true, is your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So it's not really what you think you're posting. It's really the impression or the perception that you're giving people. So we'll talk more about that. Let's get into getting found online. This is a little bit social media-ish, but also we're branching out in this topic to really talk about marketing yourself online as well. So a little bit beyond social media. And the one thing you can do is use local keywords. This is important because when people search for a real estate agent, they search in their area or the area that they're wanting to buy or sell in, right? So they search often by the name of the county, the city, or the state. So it's important that you mention these areas in your posts whenever possible. And when you do that, Google places a larger emphasis on these words when determining the relevancy of your post. So it'll get seen a lot more. So definitely use location, county, city, state, even sub areas of your town when posting. Those are important. The #2 thing you can do is research which SEO keywords to use outside of anything to do with the geographical area. And there are some free online tools to help you do that. One is Google AdWords Planner. It does require that you have a Gmail account, but all of us at Layer do. So check that out, as well as Yoast. That will give you some keyword inspiration, some ideas. And then there's Google Trends to help you determine what top SEO terms are hot. And then Word Tracker. So check out all of those. They're all free and easy to use, and those will get you success with your keywords. The #3 thing that you can do to get found online is to post consistently. And I know this is challenging in real estate because we're busy. We have lives outside of real estate. And that's why it's so important, #1, to take advantage of the social media marketing that all of you receive each week at Layer. It's dynamic, relevant, beautiful content. You receive your Canva editable links, so you can customize it, jazz it up any way you like. But really, that is what keeps you relevant on social media, and it helps, but it's not the only thing. So definitely take advantage of these free pieces that you receive every week. Another thing is when you are crafting your own captions is to keep them just above the 250 word mark. Those tend to perform a lot better. So keep that in mind when sharing. Here's another major pro tip. It's okay to reshare your content. In fact, it's advised to reshare your content because it reinforces your message. So I'm not saying reshare what you posted on Monday, reshare it on Friday. Perhaps go, and it should be timely too. So obviously you want to make sure the message that's in that post is current if you're resharing it again. So make sure that it's, you check all of that out. But I would definitely recommend resharing content because again, it reinforces your message and you don't, it saves you time. It's a huge time saver. You don't always have to look for new content to share, right? So each week at Lair, you're receiving 4 to 5 standard social media pieces, as well as 3 reels or stories format pieces. So you have the basic pieces with the captions, the call to actions, all of the hashtags, et cetera, are all there for you. But consider repurposing that too. Maybe just share, change out the picture or modify the caption so that it is more timely to where you're posting now. And so you can consider freshening up your previous content. But I would definitely recommend making this part of your social media strategy, because I know a lot of agents just sit and like, geez, I've already posted this week, I posted last week, I'm not really sure what to share. So go back onto the Lair Marketing Studio and look for the content that you can reshare. There's a ton out there. So that's a time saver for you. And it also helps you with professional credibility. What you don't want is inconsistent performance on social media. Because guess what? If you're super consistent on social media one week and then you drop off, now you've got to rebuild up your engagement again, right? To get your post seen again. So it is really like what I call a full-time bucket, right? It's a bucket of business building. So it deserves, and if you do want to grow your business on social media, you do have to be all in with it. I don't mean be on social media 24/7, but I do mean coming up with a strategy that is consistent. You have to post consistently. So if that means getting a scheduler, using a scheduler to make that easier for you, certainly look into that. I've shared many options for schedulers in the past, so check those out. Here's another thing is to be found online is to be visible as possible. You must be out there. And for many of you, that means getting on multiple social media platforms. But here's the thing. Give these platforms, if they're new to you, a chance. Don't post 1 or 2 things and decide, oh my gosh, this is so not for me. Again, it's stepping out of your comfort zone and getting familiar and putting yourself out there, right? Sometimes that's a little uncomfortable, but this is where people are hanging out, trust me, on social media. So if you want to get in front of people, I would say get on as many channels as possible. And yes, maybe get a scheduler so that makes it more streamlined for you to get your content out quicker. And it's more convenient, yes. So, and also, I would definitely recommend incorporating video as part of the strategy. It's debatable as to, are these social media posts that we're sharing, whether it be the Lair pieces that you're getting from different companies, whatever, are they getting you business? I don't know that. But here's what I can say to you. They are contributing to your professional credibility online. I believe that if people see you as inconsistent online, they may view you as inconsistent in your business because that is their first impression of you. So social media is sort of like a silent interview, if you will. People that come to your profiles are checking you out. So you want to incorporate as much video as possible and understand at first, you're not going to like how you look. You probably won't like how you sound, right? Most of us anyway. But it does get better with time. The first time I did social media, I was standing in front of a listing that I had in Massachusetts, Drake, and I was like nervous, right? I felt the anxiety. I didn't like how I looked or how I sounded, but I put it out there. And over time, I did get much better on video. Now it's like second nature to me. I don't really put a lot of emphasis, and I don't mean to come across like I don't care how I look or sound. I certainly do. But at the end of the day, that's not the deal breaker for me. I've gotten used to it. I know how I look and I know how I sound on video, and I just go with that. So definitely work to start incorporating video as part of your social media strategy. Again, the standard social media content, it's valuable, it's dynamic, and it's a time saver, and it does help add to your professional credibility online, 100%. But it's not all who you are. You do need to sort of let people cross the bridge in the relationship, that online relationship, to hear your voice, to see you. That's what they're there for. They're not, they're getting the social media content, they're getting the value out of it. But I'm telling you, taking your business to the next level on social media requires that you incorporate video as part of that strategy. And many buyers and sellers will specifically just look at video content. They're not interested in the stock content. So again, really just take the leap and start committing to getting some video content out there. Another thing is location. Always be checking in on your phone even when you're doing client consultations, showings, inspections, closings, etc. You're thinking about real estate. Check into the town. It's a great day to be talking about real estate. It's a great day to be selling real estate. So always keep yourself relevant, because you want people to associate you with real estate, always on social media. When you check into your office, as you going in for the day, right? Check into any local businesses that you're supporting, as well as local attractions and events that are happening in your area. You want to be the woman or man about town, right? You want to be out there, and definitely people will relate to you because they're in the area too, right? So that's what you definitely want to be checking into all of these events and happenings. Another thing that I've talked about before, and I'll repeat here for you, is the importance of using hashtags to be found online. People search for and follow hashtags. So hashtags should be relevant to the post that you're sharing. But you can sort of also use a couple of out-of-the-box hashtags that I'll show you in just a minute. But here are some of the best listing hashtags. So you want to take a snapshot of this with your phone. Start using these in your listing posts. And then here are some of the best hashtags for buyers, right? So we're talking all the way from home ownership to open houses to house hunters, tip for buyers, buyer's agent, all of it. Definitely take a snapshot of this. And then I'm going to show you some out-of-the-box hashtags that you can use. But at first, the standard general use hashtags: real estate, realtor. You don't want to be using the realtor hashtag if you're actually not a realtor, so just keep that in mind. These are just basic hashtags. And so when we send out the weekly layer social media marketing, we just go with a standard set of hashtags. And we will oftentimes use hashtags, like, for instance, we do home buyer, tips for buyers, as well as tips for sellers. And I may not choose to customize it for the post, because here's the beauty with the hashtag. I want your content seen across the board. So if somebody's just following seller content, I still want you seen, even if it's a buyer post, because guess what? Chances are if somebody's selling, they're also buying. So don't get too caught up in making the hashtags specific, but I do encourage you, like if you're doing a mindset post, hashtag mindset. If you're doing a post about home inspections, tag home inspections, etc. Down the bottom, though, here are some unique hashtags that you could certainly start using, again, with the intention of getting your post seen as much as possible. So if people are following HGTV, Fixer Upper, Magnolia Network, Flip or Flop, Love It or List It, Hometown, all of these are shows that people love and follow. Start using some of those depending on the post. Absolutely, because again, the intention of the hashtag is just that your post is seen. All right, another thing, there's been some discussion about, Facebook not being as hot as Instagram for growing your business. And I would strongly disagree with that. I do acknowledge that there are more users on Instagram. Absolutely. So you all want to be on Instagram. If you're not, please get on Instagram. But let's not forget about the beauty of Facebook. Facebook does have some features that Instagram simply does not. And one of those features is the Facebook events. And by using Facebook events, you really do put yourself and your event at a larger reach. So you get your increased visibility, easy sharing. So you can share it from your professional page to your personal. Other people can share it. It keeps your RSVPs tracked. They get event reminders by saying that they're interested or that they're going. There's discussion and engagement within the group, within the event group. So there's a ton of advantages. So what would you use a Facebook event for, right? I would definitely use it for open houses. I would use it for any type of client event that you're hosting, wherever you want to be seen, right? Even if you are doing a meet and greet at a coffee shop, that should actually absolutely be an event on Facebook. And ask your friends. Here's a pro tip. Ask your friends and family to attend, like even if they're actually not attending. I mean, if they attended, that would be primo, but ask them to say that they're attending online, because on Facebook, because when they do that, other people that they're connected with will see that they are interested in attending this event. So it spreads the word. And it also goes on the Facebook local events page, so that anybody that goes on and wants to just see local events, even if you're not co-friends with anybody, they'll still see your event. So Facebook events is pretty epic. And I would love to see more people getting back into using this strategy, because it works 100%. It also helps you, collect feedback about the event. So if any of you were at the Michael Mayer event, the 7 levels of communication that Lair sponsored a table or two for us at, one of the major advantages to growing your business by way of events is collecting the feedback. Why is that? Number one, the obvious, to make the next event better. But number two, it's another touch, and it shows the people that attended your event that you care, right? So it's such an epic strategy. I love it. So really start getting your mind thinking about Facebook events. Start using them, because I'm telling you that it's a winner. I love that. I love that they're part of the social media platform. And a pro tip, a huge pro tip. If you're going to advertise that you're easy to connect with, make sure you are, right? So make sure you're checking your social media messages, and don't assume they're always spam. Yes, a fair amount of them are, but always check. You always want to be making sure that you are responding to messages. And I'll take this outside of social media. Check your emails, check your texts, be, within whatever you decide are your business hours. Stay in touch with the way that people will be keeping in touch with you, reaching out to you. So I would definitely recommend always checking your messages, always checking your email, your voicemail. But back to social media, make sure that you have your social media. If you want to grow your business using social media, make sure that you are receiving alerts, so that your alerts are on and you are notified when somebody messages you. All right, let's take it a step further. Reaching just a little bit outside of social media right now is to create, and this is tips on how to be found online. What is the number one way to be found online? I would say is to create a Google business profile. And you can do that by going to business.google.com/create. And they will want to verify you. So you're going to want to use, I would use your office address. It should be a place of business, and set up your profile. Remember, same profile picture that you're using on social media, your professional page should be the same profile picture that you're using on Zillow, on Realtor.com, on Homes.com, on HomeLight, all of these referral websites, but also on Google. You want to be seen as consistent. Notice the trend in today's class: consistency. So always be consistent, but get that created. But having a profile is not enough. Here's the next step. You got to get reviews, because just having a Google profile, it will be out there and people may find you, but without reviews, it's doubtful. So you've got to really work to build your Google reviews. So I would say this, some strategies that I used to follow that have proven successful for me in getting reviews as a whole was I would ask my clients for testimonials before closing. I would not wait until right like the day of or the final walkthrough. I wouldn't wait that long because guess what? A lot of those people are going to be super busy. And they might view this as the end of the relationship, which they shouldn't, but depending on how it goes, obviously, you've hopefully have done a good job of building that relationship. But I would say once the commitment has been issued, so the buyer is solid, that is when I asked for my reviews. So hopefully that's a week before closing. If it's the standard timeline, I know sometimes it's a day or two before closing, but you've got to weigh it out. But I would definitely not wait until that long. I would keep hinting, during the transaction, you might mention past reviews that you've received, like, oh, I'm so great. I just got a wonderful review from a client. So appreciative. That's all. You're not asking them yet, but you're sort of planting the seed that you will. So definitely work to get your reviews. I would say, I would challenge each of you, number one, on this call, at least, to definitely get your Google business site set up. Get your profile set up, and they do have to verify you, so it's a little bit of a process, but get that done. And then work to get your reviews. I would say Google reviews are more important than Zillow reviews. Yes, but buyers are out there looking on Zillow, but they are 100% out there looking on Google too. So I would definitely work on that. By getting your Google reviews, it helps amplify your SEO. It increases your visibility. So it ultimately is a win for you. And it increases your credibility too, really, as an agent for people looking for you. So let's talk more about marketing your brand. So 4 things no one should be wondering when visiting your profile online. And I have to say, I see this on social media more than I would like to. And it does, I find it bothersome a little bit, but I would go to an agent's profile and nowhere does it say what areas they cover. I mean, it does give their phone number, but not everybody knows area codes. Like I don't know certain area codes where they are. So it's just interesting that you want to definitely have that in your bio. And I talked about the importance of crafting an epic bio in past classes. So what areas you cover or what states you're licensed in, as well as what brokerage you affiliate with. Now, the brokerage doesn't necessarily have to be in the bio per se, but every time you market, you want to be mentioning your brokerage. You actually have to. You cannot put out anything on social media marketing wise, marketing your business as a sales agent without referencing your broker. So if you have your own logo, that's fine. Check with your brokerage about any restrictions they may have regarding the logo, because certain brokerages do have rules and regulations regarding logos. But at the very least, your logo, if they allow you to use your own logo, should mention the brokerage name. Now, there might even be rules about what size font the brokerage name has to be. So always check with your broker. And there are some brokerages that will say, you can use your own logo, but you must also use our logo. So if you're and here's the thing, even if you're doing like a carousel post, every single piece in that post should have the brokerage name or whatever the requirements are. So check with your broker and then check your state requirements, because you don't want to get fined or slapped on the hand for marketing yourself incorrectly. But anyway, all of these things you should always be sharing the areas you cover, as well as the states you're licensed in, as well as the brokerage you're affiliate with. And then here's another thing, how to contact you. I see a lot of agents posting this dynamic content with captions, but no call to action. So no invite to reach out and how to reach out. There's no link tree, there's no website. So definitely start incorporating that. Everybody should have a link tree or some similar way to store all of your links. I've mentioned several in the past. Offhand, I can't remember the names, but there's several companies that offer this service for free. You can set up and you can link your videos, you can link your website, various pages on your website, not just the website itself, as well as how to connect on various social media channels, etc. So definitely get one of these. Again, the intention of these link trees is just to make it easier for people to research and contact you. That's all you're doing. You're not spending money. You might be spending about a half hour to set it up, if that. So pro tip here, they may love your content, but if they can't easily communicate with you, guess what? Because if that's the first impression that you're giving, they're going. They're moving on. So let me talk about the number one way to grow your brand on Instagram. This is I find this very interesting and I love it. All right. So let's first get what you may think it is out. And engagement is very important. Let me just say this. Engagement is one of the ways that you can definitely build your brand on social media, but it's not the number one way. I would say it's definitely the number two way though, but it's not the number one way. Video is another thing that is super, super important is in building your credibility online, being able to talk confidently, just putting out dynamic, valuable content with you in front of the camera is super important, but it's not the number one way. Anybody have any ideas what the number one way is? And it's not ads, it's not hashtags or polls or trending audio, highlights or reels. If you heard me earlier, what was the theme of today's masterclass? It was consistency. So posting consistently is the number one way to grow your business on social media, on Instagram. So recommendations here are to post twice a day, and you're getting one piece, right? So another piece may be family, some pictures of going out to dinner, going on a hike, going to a new coffee shop, new pizza place, pets, babies, all of that. People love it. So I always say follow the 65-35 rule. I'm like an off-kilter type person when it comes to numbers. Your content should mostly be business. Yeah, so that's the 65%. But I also pepper in personal stuff. And it should be stuff that you like, right? So don't try to appeal to the masses, because by doing this, nobody can really relate to what makes you special. So you want to own, right? And be who you are. So if you love dogs are your thing. Don't feel like, God, if I have to post another dog picture, so what? That's what you love, right? Hiking. I love books, coffee, tea, and my grandson, right? So you'll see a lot of that on my Instagram. So definitely, as I said, if you're making it all about real estate, you want to give people more of a reason to want to connect with you. So I highly, highly, highly will recommend don't make it all about real estate. Please share at least 3 videos a week and also post to your story feed daily. So what I started doing was to get this posting to stories feed done. On the general feed, I would see, a beautiful house picture. And it was like, somebody who was growing, a page. They didn't own the house. It was just, I forget, like farmhouse style or some page. And so I started sharing this content to my stories. There's an option right when you're on the feed, share to story. So I would share it to my story. And most of the time I would get like, thank you, or they would love the story or whatever. People unless they're private profile or it's a personal picture, always ask if you can share somebody's listing. You don't want to be sharing other people's family photos and nothing like that. But I have another, and I'll talk about highlights in a minute, but So this was how I started just sharing, and especially if a local store was having an event, I would share that to stories, and they were all like, oh my gosh, you're wonderful, thank you. So you can easily do that. It's right on your phone, you're on the feed, you see it, and one of the options is share to stories. So share it to your stories. You can add, stickers, make it fun. You can mention them in it. You can add the location. So I love this. Sharing the stories, I would say, definitely is as important as the main feed, because some people only watch the stories feed. So if you want your stuff seen, you've got to, and it's a quick share. So even if you are sharing a piece of the Lair social media marketing piece, you can do that. You've got it on your standard, although we do reformat 3 of those 5 pieces for you just for the stories just for the stories feed. But if you have another piece that you didn't get reformatted for the stories feed and you want to share it that way, you can just click on it. It says share to story, get it in your stories. The thing is, the stories will only last 24 hours. So we'll talk about highlights in a minute. Here are some video content suggestions. We were just talking about video. Just some ideas to get you thinking, like, what am I going to talk about? Here are a few. The importance of having a buyer's agent, the value of a great seller's agent. Success stories and testimonials, 2 different things. A testimonial is a review written by a client, right? Typically, and hopefully it's on Google and maybe on Zillow and on your website. Success stories are more emotional. This is where you're taking the viewer on a story, right? You're sharing what really unfolded. And better yet, maybe the client is sharing it, right? So why not ask the client, would you mind sort of recording a video testimonial, if you will? I'd love to share your experience. But here's something that one of the agents in the Tewksbury office did, Sarah Lewis. She actually did a client journey series where she took the videos, she crafted videos throughout the whole thing, and she got there okay. But it went from the client consultation, buyer showings, home inspection, an appraisal issue came up, to the final walkthrough as well as closing. So it really gave everybody such a good sense of what really happens in a transaction. It was wonderful. She created a hashtag. She got a ton of views. So I would definitely recommend success stories whenever you can, because this gets you into the art of storytelling. But as I said, it's even better when the clients partake in this. So consider that as an option. Another content suggestion is what to expect during a home inspection, and better yet, have a home inspector as part of that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I did a video on escalation clauses as well as on leasebacks. These are things that you can talk about professionally that provide value to those people watching it. The danger of overpricing, right? The buying and selling process, as well as interviews with lenders, talking about rates. How can a buyer offset this? Some of the unique offerings that they may provide. Interviews with home inspectors, as I said earlier, and then interview past clients, but this time a year later. How cool is that? Property preview videos. This is an amazing idea for new licensees who are working to build their business and get really that credible image on social media. Get out there and start doing property previews. Ask the agent if you can do a 20-minute walkthrough of the property as well as a video tour of it. Go to open houses, start getting familiar with what's out there on the market. Don't just look at it online, on your MLS, on your social media. Get out there and start touring these homes and doing the video walkthroughs as you're doing it and getting it out on social media. Here's a pro tip. Don't do the video walkthrough and like, if you've never done one before, practice at your house. Practice flipping the phone around so you're getting very familiar, and don't keep your face on the screen as you're like, oh, here's 70% me and 30% the house, right? They want to see the house. So introduce yourself, introduce the property and the address. I'm here today to show you this lovely 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. Let's take a look together. And then flip it over. Another pro tip, if you're wearing high heels and there's hardwood floor or tile flooring, take off your heels while you're touring the home, just so that there's no distractions. All right. Let's do open house events. Same thing. If you're hosting the open house, you should arrive at that open house at least 20 minutes prior. Let the owners know you're going to be doing it. Make sure the home is ready to be recorded. So the beds are made, the lights are on, place looks good, and tell the sellers you're doing this so that the house should be show ready anyway, but this really lets them know that you're amping up your marketing. I love this. Also, another video content suggestion is final walkthrough videos, especially if there's an issue. What a better way to show what a strong buyer's agent you are, right? Closing day, thrilling. And then how about a day in the life, right? This is your day. So where you're doing various clips throughout the day and then making the video at night or wrapping it at night. Get to know me, or even yet a reintroduction, right? For those that I haven't had the privilege of meeting, I'd love to reintroduce myself, or, get to know me type thing. And then what I love most about real estate, I recently just did this video, and the top 5 reasons to move to whatever town or county you specialize in. So these are great video content suggestions. Nobody should be lacking for video content. Just saying. Now let's get into the highlights. I'm obsessed with my highlights, and you'll see them in a minute. But we're talking about the highlights there. You can go to many pages, and not a lot of agents have highlights. You got to understand what's cool about highlights and why to even use them. But and they're easy to set up. So let's get into it. As you can see, yes, my highlights are continuous and kind of obsessive, but so why use highlights? Highlights allow you to save and categorize your stories on your profile so new and even loyal followers can still view and interact with them, because they expire in 24 hours, right? So the stories that you see on the stories feeds, unless they're highlighted, they're gone in 24 hours. Although there is now a story archive that you can go back and see. Some of you may not have that yet, but you should soon if you don't. So, and they help people learn more about you, right? But here's the thing, again, like I said about the profile, don't make it all about business. Don't make your highlights all about business either. So if you see, I have all kinds of, I've got architecture, and so most of what's on that architecture are me just sharing beautiful houses on the general feed to stories, and then I highlight it. So I'll show you in a minute how to add something to a highlight. But then I've got tiny homes, bookshops. I'm a huge book fanatic. So most of the bookshops in here, again, I'm getting them from the general feed. They're pretty unique, quaint little bookshops. I share them. Why would I do that? Right? Why would I do that? It has nothing to do with real estate. I'm doing that because it's increasing my engagement. That's the methodology. That's the strategy. So I can tell you, most people that are on my page, I get more interaction on my personal posts than I do my real estate posts. So definitely highlight some of the things that you love. I have a family highlight, you can see them here. The businesses one are the reverse reviews that I talked about in a previous masterclass, businesses that I love and support. And I continuously work to build that. But so a ton of, and you go to my profile, it's at The Real Renee Tompkins. I mean, I have about 20 highlights. I have one for Christmas that won't show up. One of the things about highlights though, is you can't put them in a certain order, because once you add to one highlight, it moves it to the front of the line. So you can't actually customize the order in which they appear on your profile. That's the only thing. So if you want to keep them in a certain order, build them the way you want them to appear, and then leave them alone. But I always say the strategy really is in the engagement. So I'm continuously adding to my highlights because I want the engagement and I want to save the posts that I was getting a lot of engagement in. So, and I can share my Canva template for my highlights in the comments. I'll share the template with you. You can change the background. I happen to love green, so green is my color, but you can take that right out and change the font, but the size works. And I've got the shadow in there if you like that. If you don't, take the shadow out, but I'll share that with you. So how do you add a story to a highlight is when sharing the piece to your story feed, there's a highlights icon right on the right bottom. That's, I think it has a heart or something on it, but select the highlight that you want it to feature in. So you're sharing it to the stories feed, and then right on the right bottom, it says highlight. Click the highlight, and then it will say, where do you want to highlight it to? Now, if you don't have a current highlight, you can say new, and then it will just populate, and you can change, right there is where you can change the name of the highlight. Because if you don't change the name, it will just say highlight. So you want to modify and edit the name of the highlight to whatever it is. Don't want to have the name too long because you only really get that one little space for the highlight. So all of my highlights have one word. And then I actually have the title of the highlight in the icon itself. As you can see there, they're all kind of one word. And I elaborate in the actual icon what it is. And then you can add the icon itself. So the customized icon there where I say amazing architecture or tiny homes, how you're doing that is you can do it right when you're in the edit mode where you're editing the highlight name, but after the fact, you can actually just go to any highlight and press down on it, and then it will take you inside the highlight. And one of the options is to edit the name and also edit the icon. So it's super easy to do. And I would definitely work, if you've only got one icon or one highlight rather, yeah, work to get some more. Think about, go to my profile, go to Lair's profile, check out what other agents who have a full profile, because here's the thing, you're going to get additional followers on your social media by having a better profile. Some agents get inspired by that, right? They love top producing agents that are heavy hitters on social media will follow you if your social media profile appears to be done well. And highlights on Instagram need to be done to have that, 5-star profile. So you want your bio to be what we call an epic bio, as well as your highlight. So if you look at my bio, I define who my audience is. So my audience are clients and agents. And I say who and what I am. I'm an agent, I'm a success coach and a group leader. And I say where I'm licensed in Kentucky and Mass. And then I give a call to action and an easy way for people to reach me. That's it. We have 150 characters, I think it is, which doesn't make it easy. No, you don't know anything about me personally in my bio, but hopefully if I'm doing a good job with my content, occasionally you get to learn something about me on a personal level. So that 65-35 rule. All right. Let's talk about video content being more than a resource. This is a good tip here is, you want to provide valuable content because it keeps your followers coming back for more. But you do have to incorporate a couple what I call rules of the games when doing video. Number one, always introduce yourself. Whenever I start a video, I always introduce myself and include my brokerage name in the video. And I always end with a call to action. So, if you're thinking about making a move, I'd love an opportunity to show you how I can get you very happily to the closing table. Send me a message to schedule a time to connect. Right? Yes, I have practiced that many times, but you can too, so that it just sort of flows, right? And you want to say it confidently too. So that's why it's important to keep practicing that. But another tip is don't explain everything that your video is about in the captions. Give people a with them, a what's in it for them to watch your video. You actually want to sort of like, oh my gosh, this is the most epic tip ever. Home buyers, check this out. You won't want to overlook this, right? Stuff like that. So it gives them, it sort of reels them in and makes them interested in watching it. Also, always include in your caption a call to action, as I said in your video, but include it in your caption as well, and your link tree, a way to reach you. So your phone number, your email, your website, and your link tree should all be noted as part of your caption. All right, key steps when posting on Instagram. Here are some 6 strategies to implement after posting to boost your reach. Number 1 is understand the algorithm and how it works. So the immediate impact from your post really is giving Instagram, sort of judge, Instagram will judge it based on the initial reaction as to its potential. So early reactions to likes, comments, and shares will determine its ultimate reach. So it's important to follow a strategy. Just don't post and hope, right? I mean, a lot of us may have done that when we were first starting out, but let's get into a strategy. So one thing you can do is show the love. And you're going to do this actually a day later. So you're going to heart and respond to comments on your last post a day later. Why would you do that? Right? We always think it's best to respond right away. And so, but this is a strategy. Because by doing that, they will actually get the notification the next day. And then it's considered an engagement. So now they're going to start seeing your content on their feed the following day. Right? So by waiting that day later, that's the strategy. They're seeing it the next day, and that's what you want. Also, here's another strategy is reply to stories through DM. That's an engagement, right? So again, it leverages the Instagram's algorithm, and it's a win for you. So start replying to stories, sending a message. I love that. Here's another thing, broadcast channels. Use your broadcast channel on Instagram, because this is another easy messaging tool to send updates to subscribers. Yes, you have to get subscribers, but this is an easy way, because once they subscribe, everyone gets the message. It's sort of like a blast. You blast it out. It's awesome. So you draw more attention to your profile, and obviously your most recent post, therefore increasing engagement. This is a total win for you. So how do you create a channel? You simply tap create broadcast channel on the top right corner of your feed. Enter your channel name, choose your audience. It's awesome. So I would definitely recommend creating a broadcast channel. Again, you have to get the subscribers. Not everyone is automatically subscribed, but it certainly gets your message out to a mass amount of people in a very streamlined, easy way. All right, and focus on your favorites. Adding your top engaged followers to your Instagram favorites feed makes it easy to browse posts. So, a lot of us are connected with hundreds of people on Instagram, but is there a pool of those people that continuously engage with you that would help on your overall engagement, right? So again, it's sort of strategically thinking, but you can certainly choose to focus on a favorites list as well. And then share your posts to stories to boost visibility. So again, I mentioned this earlier, where you just have a standard post. You can share it right to your stories feed. You can glam it up with your stickers, your location, your mentions, all of it. Trending audio is another thing. So definitely incorporate some of these added tools to help you increase your engagement. They're eye-catching, if nothing else too. So also another tip is to cross-promote. Try cross-promoting posts with other fellow Instagrammers, right? So, and this helps because it's doubling your audience. So you can promote, like your lender has a post, cross promote it. Right? Your brokerage, anybody that you want to help cross promote. I mean, it's awesome. All right. Getting down to the wire here. Let's talk about some daily success rituals. This is one of my favorite parts of the presentation, all to do with mindset. You all know I'm a mindset fanatic. All right. This is I see this so much. All right, I'll just say it. Too often people attach success with expected results. When they don't achieve the desired results in their perceived reasonable time frame, they stop. So I hear this a lot in coaching where someone will say, well, I gave it 6 months. I gave it 3 months. I'm not getting the results I want. I think I might get out of the business. I'm not this, I'm not that. It's such, perception of expectations really are, what is that saying? The thief of joy. Expectations are a thief of joy. It's true. It's the opposite of being all in, really. Expectations are the opposite when it comes to success. It's the opposite of being all in. So another thing is, another success strategy is always think strategically and see the big picture. Who can I connect with today? How can I provide value? If you're coming from contribution, you typically don't have a judgment or a perceived expectation. The two typically don't go hand in hand. So always be thinking of coming from service. All right, let's talk about kudos for some of our people out there in video land who are putting themselves out there, albeit I have to say not all of you are doing consistently, but a fair amount of you on this list are, and I'm super proud. I mean, just watching some of you, it's thrilling. This is for January and February. Diana Paquette and Brian Pereira, love watching their videos. Matt Winterly, as well as Lita Phillips. Sarah Lyman is a rock star who's out there constantly interviewing and chatting with agents as far as part of her video series. So check her out. Cara Labonte's always, what is it? The Wine Wednesday series that she does. It's wonderful. Check it out. Dan Capra's doing his video tours of properties. Olivia Paris, Kimberly Cuplest, Ann Soros is lovely to see from the Fairhaven office. Great to see her out there on Instagram, on social media. Brianna Lacouture, as well as Jessica Provencher, doing her interview series as well. Love seeing her out there. Michelle Raposa, I loved seeing Michelle on Instagram. Lisa Newman, Sarah Lewis, Michelle Saltmarsh, as well as Brenda Albert. I've seen some great video content from all of these people. Love seeing it. So keep going. And yeah, share about your process. Like it's okay that at first it just wasn't comfortable. Or maybe you're one of those people that just are awesome on camera all the way, right? I mean, everybody's different, but I would say more often than not, agents tend to not be comfortable on video. So share that part too. I would love for you to help, agents that you know of that are struggling, perhaps build a video accountability group, or just a support system where you can recognize agents in the office, hey, would you be willing to be part of my video series, or would you help me by just simply, helping me set up my camera or my video? Being part of that support system might inspire agents to also get into video. So congratulations to all of you for putting yourself out there. It was inspiring for me to watch, so I appreciate that. Let's wrap up with some mindsets for success, and this will always be the number one mindset for success every single month. It is lean in and level up. Excuses don't get results. Another thing you can say is you cannot deposit excuses. They don't get you anywhere. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. 100% accurate. Another one is focus on the process, not the results. Always, if you get super uber focused on the result, you tend to get uninspired if you're not receiving the results you're expecting. So that you've got to love the process. And then the price of excellence is discipline. The cost of mediocrity is disappointment. Love that. And then I think I have it over here. I have the life begins at the end of the comfort zone, but this is all growth happens outside of the comfort zone. So, good stuff. All right. My recommended reading for the month is Ninja Selling by Larry Kendall. The enemy of mastery is not mediocrity. It is distractions. And how many of us deal with distractions? It's amazing, especially on social media. The addiction to distractions ruins many potential awesome lives. And it's true. I mean, think of the time we waste on distractions. It's amazing. So definitely recommend getting that. It's available on Amazon, and they also have a Ninja Planner as well. So it's a whole training that you might check out, but certainly first check out the book. And if you've read it or you plan to read it, let me know. I'd love to know what you think of it. And if you'd like to connect for social media inspiration, you need an additional follower, certainly connect with me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and Pinterest, all under @TheRealReneeTompkins. I will follow you back, but certainly I'd love to connect with you on social media and know your thoughts on some of my content as well. Any Q&A for me? I think we're wrapping up I'm 128. Any Q&A? All right. Well, thank you so much for watching this month. The next social media masterclass is actually going to be taking place on Tuesday, March 26th at 12:30 p.m. For an hour. So awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing day.